All right, this motion today that this House believes that developing countries should require foreign companies operating in its territory to have a minimum quota of hiring local workers. Ladies and gentlemen, as an opening government, we would like to clarify our stances and also our argument here. Foreign company, we believe that those who are operating in certain territory means that they are actually using the local natural resources on that countries, and then they will also create production waste to the territory itself, right? And then at the end of the day, they will sell the products that they already produced at the first place to that country. So basically, this developing country will be their market target, right? And then, ladies and gentlemen, so that's why we believe that since all of the things that they already do when they are actually doing that production process, it will affect that country also, right? That's why the opening government would like to propose that these certain countries should fulfill the required quota of hiring the local workers. And when they are actually able to fulfill the required local workers quota, it will actually give an unbreakable interconnection or mutual benefit among the government and then also the private sector or the foreign companies who are investing to that countries, and then also to the society itself. And then, ladies and gentlemen, our stance is very clear. We would like to achieve this sustainability by empowering the local workforce, and at the same time, we would like to secure the investment from the foreign companies so they can keep their operation, their production in that country, so it will also affect the society itself, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to secure the environment for foreign companies itself to invest, and we will also empower the local workforce. And then in conclusion, it means that everything will be secured. The sustainability itself will be achieved in our side of the house. That's why we propose this proposal. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in the current situation, why we think that it will be effective in our side of the house, why we think that it will be effective to achieve the sustainability itself, because basically, usually the foreign companies receive rejection from locals, right? Because they think that there are no sense of belonging by the locals. They don't think that this companies actually belongs to them. That's why the foreign companies have high rejection from the locals itself, right? And then, but the most important thing that when actually we can when we can actually give this requirement to hire the local quota, the local workers quota, the most important thing that will be achieved is actually work opportunities, just job opportunities, right, for the local workers itself. Because basically, at the first place, they are already finding difficulties to find jobs. And then at the same time, we have foreign companies that would like to invest to these countries. Meanwhile, these foreign companies have tendencies to recruit more competent individuals, which are most likely comes not from that country, but from the outside of the country. Most likely, they are from the foreigners, they are from the expatriate, right? And when they are actually recruiting from the locals, they are only recruit those who have experience from the outside of the countries, right? Meanwhile, we actually have competent individuals from these developing countries. They need to find a job, they need to secure their life, and then at the same time, they will have the sense of belonging itself. That's why we think that the sustainability itself will be achieved in our side of the house. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we will provide the mechanism on how this sustainability will be achieved. Because basically, when the foreign companies think that the local workers are not enough for their business operations, but actually we think that those developing countries also have competent individuals from the countries itself, and actually those countries will provide training, will provide seminars on how to train these competent individuals from the developing countries itself, so they can operate the technology, they can work with the standards that has been provided by the company itself. So it will give two benefits at the end of the day. First one, we will give the job to the local forces. This is basically the goal of our side of the house. The local forces will get their job, which is actually already difficult to achieve at the first place. And then the second benefit will be that the company itself will have the trained workforces, whether it is from, even if it actually comes from the developing countries itself. And also the companies itself will pay smaller, cheaper wages, because basically they are recruiting from the locals. You know that if foreign companies actually recruiting expatriates, they will pay more taxes, and also they will pay more wages, right? It is comparatively, when they are actually recruiting local forces, it will be much more cheaper, but they actually get competent individuals, right? So that will be, and we believe that it will be achieved in our side of the house. And then, ladies and gentlemen, maybe the opposition side of the house will say that why it becomes the burden of the foreign companies itself. Because, ladies and gentlemen, like what I have stated before, basically when they are investing in developing countries, they are using the natural resources. They are creating a waste to that countries. So we think that they need to give feedback to the community, right? They need to give back to the community. They need to give benefits also to the community, whether it's for society or the local government, right? And then, even if the opposite side might say also that they already pay tax, what's the need to give back to the community? But, ladies and gentlemen, whether they are foreign companies or they are local companies, all of them need to pay tax. So we think that it is not enough because that is basically the basic obligation. And also the opposite side of the house might say that we already give corporate social responsibility, but we think that it's still not enough because basically they are only give fundings for a certain local ceremonial, or maybe events or scholarship, but it's not actually achieve the goal of these companies at the first place, because we want to give the job opportunity for the local workforce, right? And then the worst case scenario that these foreign companies will lose market share, because basically there is no sense of belonging by locals if we are not actually give the requirement for the minimum quota for the local workers, right? And then there will be no healthy relationship with the government, because basically they will feel difficulties to get any legalization. They cannot do actually any production because there is no legals from the government, because the government think that this foreign companies doesn't give any benefits at all to the locals itself. So we think that by giving the requirement for the minimum quota will achieve the sustainability both for the private sectors, the government, and also the local society. We proudly propose. Thank you.